Hi, this week in reading we're going to be focusing on predicting again because predicting is a really important comprehension strategy and it's one we use throughout our lives and it's actually kind of fun. So we're going to do another few lessons on that this week. And yeah, we can do predicting with any book. But today we're going to be doing it on The Potato People, and it's a book by Pamela Allen, and we're going to be focusing on particularly using what we already know to help us make predictions and also a few clues in the text. But yeah, so we'll have a quick look at the learning focus and the success criteria. So the learning focus is we are learning to make predictions. We can use the pictures, clues. We can use the words to help us make predictions, and we can also use what I know or what you know or what we've read so far. So that's really what we're focusing on today in today's lesson. So we're going to read the book. I'll stop a few times during the book and ask you guys to make some predictions, and then towards the end I'll get you to do a bit of response about what you think will happen in the end, and try and think a little bit deeper or a little bit further on and see how we go. All right, have fun. The Potato People by Pamela Allen. Every Friday, Jack's mother works. Every Friday, Jack spends the day with Grandma. This is Grandma's house. They play hide and seek. They romp roly-poly on the ground. They read stories and they eat cake. One Friday, the clouds were big and black, and the rain dribbled down the window panes and rattled on the tin roof. "It's raining," sighed Jack. "I know," said Grandma. And she went to the cupboard and brought out a big box. Inside the box were 4 potatoes. What do you think they might do with the potatoes? Maybe there's been some clues in the pictures so far, or the title, or maybe even what you already know. "I'm going to make a little potato man," said Jack. "And I'm going to make a little potato woman," said Grandma. And they did. Grandma placed them carefully on the windowsill. "There," said Grandma. "There," said Jack. "They look pleased with each other," said Grandma. "We're pleased with each other too," said Jack. Then one day, Jack and his mother had to go away for a while. That Friday, Jack didn't come. He didn't come the Friday after that, or the Friday after that. Lots of Fridays went by and still Jack didn't come to visit Grandma. Gradually, the little potato people wrinkled and withered. Gradually, their smiles drooped and twisted. Now Grandma called them the little old potato man and the little old potato woman. She looked at herself in the mirror. "I'm just like them," thought Grandma, and she sat down and she sighed. Okay, time to make another prediction. Where do you think Jack might have gone? And what will happen to the potato people now he's gone? Let's see. One day, a stalk sprouted out of the head of the little old man. "He's growing horns," thought Grandma. Then a stalk sprouted out of the head of the little old woman. "She's growing horns too," thought Grandma. The horns grew and grew. At last, Grandma could bear it no longer. She said goodbye to the little old potato man and the little old potato woman, and she buried them outside in the compost heap. But Jack didn't know, because Jack wasn't there. Okay, time to make a prediction. What do you think will happen to the potato people? Okay, so what we're going to do now is make a prediction about what we think will happen to the potatoes when they've been put in the ground, and what will happen also when Jack gets back and wants to know what's happened to the potato people. So to help us make that prediction, we want to use what we already know about potatoes, and when you put them in the ground, what might happen to potatoes. potatoes, and also what's happened so far in the story, because we know that the potato people have started to grow horns. So thinking about that, and then what I'd like you to do is draw and write about what you think is going to happen. So I've done a little bit of example here of what I think is going to happen. I've included Jack in the end and also the potatoes, and I've also written a sentence about what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to give you any hints, or I don't really want it to be your own prediction. So maybe pause the video now, take a bit of time to draw what you think is going to happen and write what you think is going to happen in a sentence. And just use those things, what you already know, clues from the pictures, the writing, and also what's happened in the story so far. Go for it. Soon a shoot appeared above the ground, then another and another. Up they grew, up they grew, until they were so high that Grandma couldn't see over the top. Tambourines and treacle tarts, exclaimed Grandma. At last, one Friday, when the clouds were big and black and the rain dribbled down the window panes and rattled on the tin roof, there was a knock at the door. I wonder who that could have been. Jack, gasped Grandma, and they hugged and hugged. They played hide and seek, they romped roly-poly on the ground, they read stories, and they ate cake. Grandma, asked Jack, what happened to our little potato people? I buried them outside in the compost heap, said Grandma, and they grew and grew. Let's go and look, said Jack. So they put on their raincoats, pulled on their gumboots, and went in the rain to see. But all they could see was stalks, now brown and dead, lying on top of the ground. So Grandma fetched a big fork and Jack fetched a little fork. They dug and they dug and they dug. First Grandma found one potato, then Jack found two potatoes. One potato, two potato, three potatoes, four. 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potatoes more, sang Grandma. They found big potatoes and they found little potatoes. Soon there were hundreds and hundreds of potatoes. Tambourines and treacle tarts, exclaimed Grandma. When there were no more potatoes left to dig, they hung up their forks and they took off their raincoats. They put away their gumboots, they washed their hands, and Grandma dried her hair. They put away their gumboots, they washed their hands, and Grandma dried her hair. What do you think they're going to do next? There's been a few little clues in the text. It's raining, they've got some potatoes. What do you think they might do? Let's see. Grandma, said Jack. Yes, said Grandma. Let's make a little potato man and a little potato woman. And they did. How did you go? Did you predict what would happen in the end? There was lots of clues along the way to help you maybe predict what would happen. But if you didn't, that's all right too. Just remember, when you're reading, it's always good to predict what's going to happen next and what might happen in the story, as it's a really good strategy to help you understand what you're reading. Because if you're asking yourself questions, what will happen next, and then checking to see if you're right, it helps you build up that understanding of what's happening in the text. So you can do it with any book you read at home with mum and dad or any of your readers. Think about what might happen in the text, and then as you're reading, you can change your predictions. And it's actually really fun. I really love predicting it. It's kind of nice when you predict the ending or what's going to happen. So use it all the time, and it really does help your comprehension. So have fun with that, and hopefully you went all right today. I'm looking forward to seeing your work.